All right, what's up, everybody? Tim Sykes, February 17th, 2016. What a few days it's been. I hope you had a good Valentine's Day weekend. I spoke at a conference the past few days, so I might lose my voice in the middle of this video. Hopefully not. But then we also launched this, Stocks to Trade, which is just fantastic. So overwhelmed by the response. I love that you guys are loving this. No other data platform with news, level 2, charting, and so many more features has been available, frankly, because nobody has ever really cared about low price stocks the way that I have. So we built this platform from scratch. Many of you have already locked in this deal. The first 300 early birds sign up. You get 30% off going forward on all future months, and you get your first month free. You can cancel at any time. We only have a few more early bird spots left, so I wanted to make this video just to tell you to lock it in. It's not going to come around anytime soon. We don't make any money on this thing. We're in a big hole right now, but I wanted to create a software that could basically just do everything. I'm telling you guys to go to this website, check this, and it's like, it's kind of confusing as I hear. So we put everything into Stocks to Trade. Very excited, and video tutorials are on their way. Right now we have one. I'll be doing more webinars, but you got to lock this in right now. 1 month free, and you can cancel at any time. Here is the URL, stockstotrade.com/launch, and I would guess you probably have about 24 hours. Maybe 36 by the time you watch this video before it's gone. If you try and enter your information and it doesn't work, it'll probably be because it's gone. Here's what Stocks to Trade is, and it's glorious, and I'll go over that in a second. We have a lot to talk about. Me just literally going away for a few days makes me so far behind. But first I wanted to, just congratulate a lot of students, because even though I haven't been there, a lot of people are learning on their own. And this is just one text message conversation I thought was interesting that I had with a new student. And, he wants to paper trade. He says, I haven't practiced yet. And I said, practice makes perfect. What are you waiting for? You got to buy earnings winners and bet against pump and dumps. XLIT is the biggest pump right now. GRPN is the biggest earnings winner tomorrow. And that was Thursday night that we texted. And that was right when I was heading into my Valentine's Day weekend. I was like, did you buy Groupon? It's nothing huge yet, but nice uptrend so far today. Earnings winners, they don't always spike immediately. Sometimes they take 1, 2, 3 days. And he replied, he doesn't know how to trade yet, let alone put in an order. He said that's why he's asking me. I said, okay, next week I'll have a video lesson detailing it. And then yesterday, which was Tuesday, I said Groupon, and the markets were closed on Monday. But, this is when he said Groupon, or I said this, Groupon was up 16% and then 35%. And this is just a good example. It's not always this easy. I don't want you to think that every earnings winner is just going to surge like Groupon did. They also had a new billionaire investor, Alibaba. So it's an earnings winner and a billionaire play all combined. But it is nice to see that it can just keep going. And, I'm just going to show you a few different time frames. Kind of cool. You can see it was just uptrending. This was the earnings win right here. It was uptrending, and you had a beautiful breakout right in here. And these are all different little news alerts. This is one of the cool things about Stocks to Trade that no other platform really has. Very exciting. And it dropped a little bit today. But this is just a nice way, where you see, look, you can buy the initial spike here, 260, 270. I don't know if I would buy it randomly here, but maybe into the close, into the weekend. I couldn't have predicted the news, but I do like the fact, that it was uptrending quite nicely. So this is just one example. And I don't want you to think that it's always going to be so easy. I know a lot of you guys banked. But more importantly, it's just a good way to start. If you don't know where to start buying earnings winners. They tend to have good news. And if you look at the stocks that I'm watching on my watch list here, they're pretty much all earnings winners. The ones that are up and the ones that are down are kind of pump and dumps. So shorting pump and dumps and buying earnings winners. I know it sounds a little too simple to be true. There are many subtleties to it. So I don't want you to just buy anything and short anything. But these are the stocks that I think you should be focusing on. So first, let me just congratulate a few people. Rich says he's been studying and he's learning a lot, and he calls me the real deal. Thank you, Rich. I appreciate it. Sniper Trades actually shorted GRPN. I would not really want to short earnings winners. You got to be careful. You know, a lot of people were shorting another earnings winner, QUOT, and got crushed, and it just kept squeezing. QUOT was one of the stocks I bought last week, and I sold it way, way, way too early, but I knew not to short it. So congratulations to Sniper Trades, but you got to be very careful. Today's student of the day is this 49 state trader. I love that this guy, Corey, I highlighted this, and he said just hit his goal of 100% profit for 2016 in 6 weeks. And he thanked me, and he seems like a cool dude. So congratulations to Corey. Also, Alexa, we're getting so much feedback from StocksToTrade just from the few users that have it. But he says he's only used it for 10 minutes and he loves it already. It's awesome. Thank you. Here is today's earnings winner. This is a good Thinkorswim chart with some levels that somebody shared in the chat room on Taxi. And you can see here, this is a multi-month chart going back to September, October, November 2015. A lot of you guys are only looking at charts from January and February. The world did not begin, the stock market did not begin in 2016. You can look back at previous resistance levels. And, I was buying it around 730-ish because I thought that this was kind of a meaningful breakout. As it turned out, this light blue pattern, you got to see it a little closer at 742 resistance, held a little better. But I'm going back to the top right here in September. I think that's important because you can see here it kind of topped here at 730, but then this top here at 740 turned out to be more resistance. So when it couldn't hold the 725, 730 level, I took a small loss. And I don't mind taking small losses. I lost, like 5, 6, 7 cents a share. It sucks, but, it's not the end of the world to take small losses. And I will not rebuy this until it breaks above 742. It did hit the 8s today, so it's not like I'm buying a boring stock. I tried to dip buy it thinking that it could bounce again, and just didn't happen. It's okay. Small losses are acceptable. I also got to give props to a lot of these guys. So many people. What was this? Oh, that was from one of my 5 lesson Fridays. I have so many documents. It's out of control. Milk bought Groupon in at 315, out at 379. I think I saw this while I was on the plane. I don't remember exactly. I'm just copying and pasting stuff that I see in the chat. The past few days has kind of been a blur for me, just with travel and speaking. It happens. Jay Holstein was in at 335, out at 379. Might have been a little early. Primes was in at 331, out at 380, making 50 cents a share, 40 cents a share, 60 cents a share. Don't worry if you're too early. Okay, you have made 10, 15, 20% on the trade. That's near best case scenario. Every now and then you'll get a big, flyer where you can make 50 or 100%. But most of them, if you take 15, 20, 30%, you're good. Here's Jay Powell, made 300 bucks. This was a big one. Osman, 15,000 shares and made 40 cents a share. So nice little $6,000 plus profit there. Chris, on a $300 account, made $100. So now he's up to 415. That's great. In at 282, out at 391. This is what earnings winners can do. This is the beautiful thing. And I wanted to show you this. Here is SBAD, and he says, just made my first trade ever today on Groupon, made 10% on my small account watching your DVDs. That's beautiful. You're watching, you're learning, you're profiting. It doesn't get better than that. Lujan was in at 331, out at 391. Here was actually another runner today, Lincoln Hawk, VLTC in at 461, out at 519 for a $1,000 profit. This was in the first hour. A lot of people are like, guess what? It's a supernova. They don't understand why. If you watch my DVDs and you understand that supernovas can reignite, that is something that you should be aware of. And it's not just about buying earnings winners. You should all watch my penny stocking and penny stocking part 2 and my How to Make Millions DVDs. These are basic required viewing if you want to understand the terminology and what patterns and what stocks are going to respike again and again and again. Here's TC12345. I love this. He got into VLTC at 455 out of 527. He said, thanks to stocks to trade, I knew what price to get in at. Watching the level 2 action, I knew when to sell it. So that's beautiful. This was 49 State Trader who made 100%. And then also Watt was another runner today. Supernova Jedi made like 800 bucks. You know, I wasn't really tempted to buy Watt. Let me just change this. I'm still getting used to this new platform. But here is Watt. Just a really kind of a big spike today from the mid fives up to 7. If you zoom in today to, let's do, oops, not 1 hour. I don't want to show the past 1 hour. I want to show the past 1 day. What chart do I want to see? There's so many different angles. I mean, you can see here, this is where there was news, but it actually turned out to be kind of like nasty news. I really, you have to be careful buying news like this. The news was right here with the official news where it hit Seeking Alpha, as you can see here. But it was on Twitter right in here, and the thing spiked really quickly. And as I was leaving, you know, for a meeting, I had a meeting midday today too. I'm kind of all over the place the past 2 days. I said, watch out, you know, this spike, if you read the article, you know, if you actually read this, there's a good amount of evidence there to suggest that Energous has landed a major partner, writes BGR's Zach Epstein. But one of the tweets that was highlighted said, it's definite that Watt has won the Apple deal. And it's just not true. So be very careful. And this is a cool little handy thing where you can open the news in stocks to trade. So we also have SEC filings and events and stuff like that. So there's going to be a lot of features with stocks to trade. Just get ready. And I will do a whole tutorial later. But first, I just wanted you guys to focus on the right kinds of stocks. You know, look at these stocks. These are percent gainers or earnings winners or pump and dumps. They all have catalysts. They've all been moving. They have, you know, multi-month or sometimes even multi-year breakouts. ELMD was a multi-year breakout. Let me go 1 year. Well, I guess you can't really even see that yet, but we're working on it. We're adding more features. But you know, it was a breakout above 340. And actually, while I was on the plane, I was saying if I wasn't traveling, you know, I'd probably be long around 350. And it did touch nearly 4 today. You know, it's choppy stock. It's not perfect. I actually got out right near the market open. I should mention today, totally forgot today, this morning, so much weird, just weird price action here near the market open. You know, right when the market opened, it really wasn't trading. It actually looked like the stock was halted. You know, and I was buying in here in the 380s yesterday. I got a little too late. I probably should have been in, you know, from like the 350s or 360s. But pre-market today, you know, it got up to nearly 397. And then for the first like minute or two, it just wasn't trading. And that was very scary because, you know, I had a rather sizable position in this one. And so I got out, you know, right when I could at roughly 386, 387, 388. I made under 10 cents a share. You know, I wasn't really proud of that, but the proud thing that I'm talking about is I got out when there was something weird going on. I don't know what caused it not to trade in the first minute. I don't know if it was the market maker. I don't know if there was a screw up with, you know, software or orders or whatever. You know, both stocks to trade, and I still, you know, have E-Trade Pro on in the background. Neither of them were showing any moving orders. So I don't know what happened, but I do know that it definitely hurt the momentum of the stock because anybody who was thinking about buying a potential morning runner didn't. And that's what created this dip from the 390s down to the 370s. It actually did try again to come back to the 390s. So it actually was a decent dip buy. But that weird little thing that happened right at the open, hey, it happens. So all you can do is get out. A lot of you guys are scared of the market. You're scared to trade. You are in control of your money. You're in control of your trades. You can have your finger on the exit button at any time. If for any reason you feel like you need to get out, just get out. You don't have to wait for a loss to get out. A lot of people are like, Tim, I had a small gain, but I just wanted a bigger gain. And so I kept holding, then I turned into a loss, and I cut losses. You don't need to do that. Okay? Sometimes I take small gains. I'm not proud of them. I don't want to. I don't aim for small gains. But sometimes the stock just doesn't do what I want. And you are in control, especially if you hold the stock overnight like I did. It wasn't even a day trade. So think about that next time you make a trade. Even if you want to be paper trading and you don't want to risk any real hard-earned money, that's okay too. You don't get as much of an education because you don't get the psychology and the emotions, but at least you're learning. Learning is such a crazy thing. I wish that I could just put everything that I have in my head and put it into yours, but I can't. I can only try and teach you what I've learned. And so when a stock doesn't open like the rest of the stock market opens, I just get out because I don't know what's going on. And when I don't know what's going on, I don't want my money involved there. And that's kind of what happened here, even though it did have a nice spike. In the end of this is my latest big, quote, big trade on ELMD. I'm in the 380s and I'm out in the 380s. And it really got up, it went up, 17 cents from my buy point and, 17 cents from my down point. So I basically got the middle of the range. So it wasn't a great trade. What could have been if there wasn't that 1 minute delay on any orders, I don't know. We'll never know. I don't look back at that. What I do look back and say, look at the time that I held the stock overnight, it went up 17 cents and it went down 17 cents. And so that's why it was roughly a break-even trade for me. And, it's not ideal, but I live to trade another day. And that's what I'm doing. I'm always looking for new trades. If a trade doesn't go my way, I take that. I think about it. I, study it. What could I have done differently? And the answer is I couldn't really have done anything differently because I still don't understand what happened today. And, sometimes that's going to happen. You just got to deal with it. So I will move on to the next trade. I will take comfort in the fact knowing that as the stock market is still down, nearly 10% on the year, my little small accounts are up roughly 30%. So I'm still outperforming quite nicely. I'm playing it safe, and I'm still focused on buying earnings winners, buying billionaire plays, and shorting pump and dumps, same as always. So just wanted to show you a few different charts and lines and stuff like that. But again, this is really your last chance to go to StocksToTrade.com/launch if you want your first month free and if you want 30% off going forward. And again, you can cancel at any time, but very excited to have people aboard this, and we're going to keep doing more features and having more video tutorials, so you won't be confused. And if you have any questions, any tech issues, email dev@StocksToTrade.com. And we've hired quite a few support people to help you, so bear with us. This is a brand new platform, so there might be a few bugs every now and then, but in the next few weeks, in the next few months, we're going to make this thing awesome. So I'll see you guys in the chat room tomorrow. Looks like we have a few more plays. I'll send out the watch list later tonight. Thank you.